Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com. Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Sammy's in Prairieville, just off of Airline. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Colucci with us from Vegas. Matt Human's with us from Vegas. We got a lot of games to get to for this weekend as we're, the schedule's starting to thicken up a little bit across the board. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
All right. We got, for this week, LSU's got a rent-a-win game. The Thursday night game in the NFL is one of the bigger spreads, the biggest spread this week, one of the biggest spreads you'll see, at double digits. Buffalo and Miami. But we got a pretty thick schedule of other really competitive games throughout the college football and the NFL this week. A lot of backup quarterbacks going in the NFL. And I hate to say it, but it's something I was thinking about this morning when I was going through games. This is just the reality of modern day college football. For most teams in college football, this is week 4. And what is week 4? Week 4 is the week that you can still play if you've been playing. But after this, if you want out, you gotta sit out after this. You can play 4 games and still redshirt. I don't like this. I think once you are in with your team, you ought to be in with your team for the season. You want to transfer to something for the offseason. But I acknowledge that it's a part of college football now. And so those teams that are off to less than glamorous starts, you have to look at, or do they have guys with one foot out the door? And that's just current college football.
Who was the quarterback? Was it the quarterback at Houston, right? That went to the little left-hander.
King.
Yeah, to get De'Ara King.
Yeah. And he was kind of the first that did that.
Well, who else?
It's become more common.
Starting quarterbacks?
No, not a starting quarterbacks.
Okay.
I'm just talking about players in general.
Okay, well,
you have two. For instance, you have 2 schools that have already fired a coach in UCLA and Virginia Tech. You have another one that may be on the verge of firing one in Florida. So just something to keep an eye on.
Thursday night football, are they on the verge of firing their coach? The bloom is definitely off the rose of the young
Mike McDaniel.
And
they could.
Got a block and tackle, at somewhere along the way.
Do you think that the Dolphins, under an interim coach, would
it doesn't make any difference. No,
they could still fire.
No, but everybody. This guy was supposed to be. Oh my God, he's so cool. He's young. He wears his tapered joggers. Whatever, dude. It was just he's the new breed, the analytics driven. Doesn't look. Oh man, they were when they weren't clicking and all of that was as a bully. Who did they beat of circumstance to roll up all the points? The one game is when it came from way back, and it was another one in a long list of blown leads by John Harbaugh. That's the one game of significance where they showed up. Now they can't even get through it when they're healthy. Because you and I sat in Beau Rivage last year and watched that backup in Indianapolis last year. There's some painful backups, for Tua. But this thing is, he's the odds-on favorite to be the first coach fired in the NFL.
And I completely understand that. They had one, what I would call, win over they won 8 games last year. I would say they won 1 game over a good team. They beat the Rams in L.A.
That was a primetime game. Yeah, their defense really brought it that game.
Everybody else, they beat New England twice. They beat Jacksonville. They beat the Niners at the end of the season when San Francisco was run on fumes. They beat Cleveland. They beat the Raiders. No, they had one real, what you would call, significant win last year. The year before that, when they went 11-6, when they got to the playoffs, they got thumped in that game in Kansas City when it was negative whatever degrees. And then you're off to this bad start here. I
still got a winning record, 28-25 as a head coach.
Yeah,
so it's not bad. It's just the overreaction to that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he's probably not as bad as we think as well. That's a tough loss for them last week. They still played. They were bad defensively, but you really, you went from a guy that was too tough on the players, was coaching them too hard, and Brian Flores, and to a guy that's everybody's best friend, and so it's just no.
Their bigger problem to me, they can fire the coach or they can keep the coach. I would probably move on from him at the end of the year, or if not sooner. Their bigger problem is Tua. They've got to decide if Tua is the future, and I don't think he is. And that's going to be they're going to have to make the same decision that Denver had to make. They're going to make the same decision that Cleveland has sort of made, which is, are we going to swallow this massive cap hit to move on? Jacksonville will probably have to make a similar decision at the end of this season. Is this our guy, or are we gonna go to the reset and take this massive
Jacksonville's
cap?
got you were talking about Lawrence.
About Lawrence,
the coach's first year.
No, the coach is fine, but or is T-Law their guy long term, or are you going to start going towards moving on from him? These massive contracts.
You can do better. You can do worse. Where would you have Lawrence?
Coming into the season, I would say
outside the top 10.
Yeah,
hovering around that top 10.
No, I would say closer to the bottom of tier 2. I would say like 14, 15, based on the way he played last year. I think his potential is much
right
higher.
In the middle.
I think his potential is much higher than Tua's.
I think he's a little higher than right in the middle.
Okay.
But no, is he a disappointment? What he was thought of, clear number one, draft pick, got all the measurables, good size, can move, big arm. He's not playing a position at a high level.
If you asked me,
his processing, decision, and accuracy are all lacking, and that's a problem. So
if you asked me to pick between the two, I would pick Lawrence every single time.
Between Lawrence and Tua?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we're talking about
every single time. But Lawrence had a rough year last year. He was hurt for most of the year. He only played in about a little over half the games, I think it was. I would stick with him a lot longer than Tua. I think the Dolphins are probably going to move on from the coach and the quarterback at the end of the season. That's just my guess.
Owner loved Tua. That's why I gave him that deal. So how many years does he have left on that deal?
Oh,
I'd say a significant amount.
$200 million left on that deal.
Yeah, so you gonna make a move? Nobody's picking that contract up.
Nobody's picking the contract up, but you got to eat it if you go. It's the same thing.
Well, that's easier said than done. That's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Denver had to move on from 80 plus. They're still paying.
Okay,
for,
I
for
know,
Russell
but
Wilson.
They did it, and they made the playoffs last year. But that's tough to do, man.
Oh, there ain't no doubt. What's left on his deal is it was a 4-year, $200 million.
So the owner's getting ready. He's ready to admit his mistake at that price because he's the one that pushed for Tua for the long deal. He believed in him, and he was the one that made sure that deal was done.
I don't know if he is or not. I can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
80,
that's an expensive admission.
It's $140 million left on his deal.
Speaking of tonight's game, so the 0-2 teams have really, really been strong in this spot. They act with urgency, desperation, whatever. You really get a big effort, almost to the point where Charlie, it's over 65% coverage rate, ATS. They're not straight up, but this has been a spot. So divisional game, but then it's a short week. They do get to play Buffalo in favorable conditions. They'd rather play in mid-September than mid-December. But their defense is just – the Colts scored every time they had the ball, and the Patriots moved the ball consistently throughout the course of the game. Offense looked better, but and So they have, but still, and Buffalo's defense is not that strong. I mean, so they shut down the Jets. Good job. But there's a few things working tonight that a little bit of intrigue. So.
You're right about the 2-0, the 0-2 teams, because if you go, the odds are against you to make the playoffs at 0-2. I mean, your odds drop from the difference between 1-1 teams and 0-2 teams is it feels like a lot more than just one game. But if you get to 0-3, the chances of you making the playoffs are dismal, really dismal. And of the 0-2 teams, I think maybe 2 of them have a chance to make the playoffs, what I would call a good chance to make the playoffs. Do the Jets have a chance to make the playoffs? No. The Dolphins?
No. I say no.
The Browns?
No.
The Titans?
No.
The Giants?
No. Chiefs, yes.
Well, I'm saving them for last because they're an obvious yes.
But it's not a given.
No, it's not a given.
For a team that's going to Super Bowl every year.
The Bears?
I say no.
If they were in another division, I'd give them a chance, but no, not there.
There's just a schedule. The schedule does not let up.
Saints and the Panthers, no.
No.
So that leaves you with Houston and Kansas City.
I would bet against both of those teams making the playoffs, and I think, they've got that. That's up. I mean, I'll as we're talking, but I would say that Kansas City, for obvious reasons, has shorter odds to make the playoffs. I would say, let me just guess, Kansas City maybe about minus 120 to make the playoffs.
$1.80 when I looked at
$1.80
to make the playoffs.
What's the no? Plus 40?
Plus 30, something like that, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Minus 80 in that division.
If I had to guess between the Chiefs and the Texans to make the playoffs, I think it's hard because I think the Texans play in a lousy division. The Colts look good, but I don't know if that's fool's gold or not. I'm not putting all of my eggs in Daniel Jones. The West, I mean, the Chargers look really good. The Broncos and the Raiders are much improved from 2 years ago, and maybe they're better than the Raiders. I think are better than they were last year. I don't know if the Broncos will be, but that's a heck of a hole to dig yourself out of in the AFC West. So I don't know. The Chiefs, I think, are a better team than the Texans, but that division is tough.
The Chiefs are minus 165 to the yes, plus 135 to the no to make the playoffs. I think the value right there. Keep in mind, too. And then Texans are plus 145 to the yes. So I would take the plus money on both of those.
Yeah.
I would take Houston at plus money to make it, although they're already banged up, and it just really limits their offense. I mean, Chubb is seen as best. By the way, they let him score in that touchdown run. They kind of
after the punt return, when he broke it was
the 31-yard touchdown.
It was 31.
31-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, if they let him milk it down, will they get the ball back?
Yeah.
But Kansas City, Mahomes keeps running like that. He's going to be on the bench soon. Well, he can't be doing that, man.
That has not gone unnoticed. They don't have a reasonable running game.
Yeah, but he doesn't have Rice or who's the other one?
They knocked out Xavier Worthy got knocked out. Kelsey knocked him out of the opener. And
so, I mean, without Worthy and Rice, I mean, he just doesn't have guys. These are not design runs. These are runs on passing plays. Mm-hmm. But not only is he running, but he's lowering his shoulder consistently on these runs. He's not even getting down. He's not getting out of bounds when he has the option. We're talking about after the yardage is pretty much done or the first down is made, he's still lowering his it is not a good look for the Chiefs right now.
No, they can depend on Hollywood Brown, who's a good receiver, I wouldn't call an elite receiver, but a good receiver. And what's left of Travis Kelce, and they were showing film on him yesterday, the crossing route that he's basically jogging on, and Mahomes leads him like he would lead Travis Kelce.
His plate's full.
Yeah, he's got a
wedding. I mean, the lifestyle can't help his age and lifestyle.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Even if he was dating somebody nobody ever heard of, he's 35 years old, man, and he's had a heck of a he's had a heck of a career. He's got a lot of mileage on him, man. I mean,
Man, I can't go to the grocery store without strain, man. I mean,
I know. But even if he wasn't, I mean, 35 years, he's got a lot of miles on the odometer. So, speaking of, there they are as we were watching the
Kelce's,
the Kelce podcast.
Their podcast, no doubt. We're over here at Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins Road. Old Perkins Road near Airline in Prairieville, and so. It's all the same things. Look, you're going to have cold beer here. You're going to have some really good, Louisiana specialties, po' boys, burgers, extensive menu that we have at Sammy's that you've known to grow and love for years and years. And also we got, it's the same service in a kind of a non sort of chain type of feel and stuff like that. So over here at Sammy's. Now on Highland Road and also here in Perkins and Prairieville, Old Perkins and Prairieville, we got specials, man. How about the char-grilled crabs? That's right. The 3 char-grilled crabs. With
that sounds different.
Yeah, with corn and potatoes on Monday night for just $12. And then we got the wing special for Monday Night Football as well at both of our Sammy's locations. So, and of course, you go into the game this weekend. It's a very convenient spot before, during, or after the games over at Sammy's on Highland Road. So, the red beans and rice, the thin cut pork chops that go with the red beans, or the white beans, you talk about outstanding. So, always good stuff over here at Sammy's. So we've been doing it for a long, long time. So we rotate once a month. We'll come either to Sammy's in the Old Perkins location or on Highland. So always good stuff over here at Sammy's. Other stuff we got going on, Charlie, Tuesdays at both locations is half off for a dozen of crabs. So half off your dozen of crabs on Tuesdays. It's crab season right now. Wednesday, Perkins Kids Eat Free with the purchase of an entree on Highland Road. That's college night. $5 burgers, $5 pitchers for Bud Light and Ultra, and $3.50 natural Natty Light over at Highland Road. And then Thursday, both locations, it's our NFL specials. Tonight, $2 off wings and 2-for-1 draft for Ultra and Bud Light. 2-for-1 Bulger. So wings and draft special at both locations for Thursday Night Football tonight.
Live at Sammy's in Prairieville, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway in Prairieville on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show is available on demand, 1045ESPN.com and LouisianaSports.net. That is brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to SupremeRice.com. Also, new film study up at the Handycast on YouTube, LSU and Florida. We got a lot of games to get to today and tomorrow. I want to start with Arkansas. They've got a real interesting trip to Memphis this week. Memphis is out 2-3-0 start, 3 comfortable wins, 2 of them on the road, not against any elite competition, but 2 of them on the road. Arkansas won their first 2 games very easily, and then we're in a shootout with Ole Miss. They've also got Notre Dame next week. So
first time ever.
But yeah, by the way, the Irish are coming to Fayetteville. So Taylon Green is off to a great start. We spent some time in the summer talking about what he would look like.
How many starts now?
30. He had 36 coming into the season.
So he's right around 40.
Yeah.
Second year with Petrino. Mm-hmm. He looks pretty good. But there was a lot of easy yards against Ole Miss. That Ole Miss defense is not what they were last week. But Arkansas on third down, Charlie, 72%. That's number 1 in all of college football. So that's really good as well, no matter who you're playing. And that's what we're going to have to see because Memphis, Seth Hennigan in his 50 starts is gone now. He's with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But, catching points at home in the Liberty Bowl, neighboring state. We think more basketball with these teams, whether it's Eddie Sutton against Dana Kirk back in the day or Calipari versus Nolan Richardson, or even Penny against Musselman as of late. That's kind of where they get after it, but these neighboring states. But Arkansas is a massive sandwich spot, 41-36. They had the ball. with a chance to win it at the end in Oxford last week. And the week before, they've been counting down they've been waiting for this game for a long time. Forget that Notre Dame's 0-2. If you want to know about Notre Dame's sizzle, and these teams in the SEC, when they come to town, they get excited. And so they've never, ever played them. The Lou Holtz Bowl is next week, so maybe a look-ahead spot for this win. And Memphis is balanced, both with their run and pass, a balanced offense and defense. And they went to, in a tough spot, a look-ahead spot for them, they went to Troy. That same team that Troy went to Clemson and gave Clemson all they could handle. Mm-hmm. They outgained them by like 420 to 300. I mean, I'm sorry, 420 to 120. I mean, completely dominated on the road at Troy. So I think Memphis here is a live dog here in an interesting spot for obvious reasons. 11 a.m. kickoff in ABC.
I do. I think they're a live dog as well. Here's why I like Arkansas in the game, not necessarily to cover, but to win. They're running the football with three different guys. Green is leading them in rushing, where we talked about Mahomes. Look, if your quarterback's leading you in rushing and nobody else is close, that makes you a little bit nervous. They've got three guys that have at least 25 carries, and as a team, they're averaging right at 7 yards a carry. So it's a multifaceted rushing attack for Arkansas, and then you get to Taylor Green, who is off to a very good start throwing the football too. So it's a dangerous offense. Defensively, though, they will give up some yards.
They are dangerous. They're capable, but we got to be careful. Look, I quoted the third down stat as well, but so early in the season where the schedules are really like who's going to take any of the stats that Penn State's put together right now?
None.
Seriously. So,
I'm taking this
after that exhausting stretch. God bless them. They sure picked the right spot for a bye.
I'm not taking the Arkansas, the Alabama, Arkansas State, Alabama A&M stuff, but they rushed for 220 yards against Ole Miss. I know Ole Miss's defense is not what it was a year ago or even close, but that's a bunch of rushing yards in an SEC
bad
game.
Defense.
Yeah.
That is a bad defense, and I don't know if there's any worse defense in the league this year.
Arkansas put up 5.25 on them and 220 on the ground. That's for an SEC game. That's a bunch of yards.
And it wasn't like these tough throws in tight windows. I mean, we're talking about little check down swing passes and go untouched for 40 yards. Consistent. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many 20-plus plays they had. There's a lot, man. And Ole Miss they're the worst defense I've seen in this league to this point.
I wanted to go through it in my head.
You got Mississippi State. You got
no, Mississippi State's been better than them.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was just going through my mental Rolodex.
Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina's down defensively. They're not like that. Vanderbilt's better defensively than these guys. They're the worst defense in the league.
I think you are correct. Another one of the games we wanted to look at. This is a ranked matchup of teams. This is an 11 o'clock game, which is unusual because it's in Salt Lake City.
I know.
But you got two teams that are both off to 3-0 starts. It's their conference opener in both games. Utah and Texas Tech, they're right next to each other, 16-17 in the rankings. And Utah's about a 2.5 point favorite here.
Boy, it went down from 4 to 2.5. Salt Lake City, I think, has been one of the real great home field advantages in all of college football that we just don't really think of. But we've seen teams just absolutely crumble there. You saw the kid, the quarterback that came over from New Mexico with his coordinator, and man, what's the name is Whittingham. He knows how to take an athletic quarterback and to create easy throws for him, and that's what he's getting, man. 73% for Dampier, 7 TDs, no interceptions, not against tough competition by any stretch. But still way better than what he was throwing. He was kind of interception prone when he got there. Texas Tech, it's a lot of Texas schools, man. They got some money. They got some money, and Cody Campbell he's the new T. Boone Pickens in college athletics.
This is the finance experiment, right? Can you take a program like Texas Tech and finance them into the top 10?
But the SWAC, MAC, and Pac-2, Oregon State, one of them. That's not. I just don't know what Texas Tech. Smart money is on Texas Tech, but Utah in that one.
If it's under 3, I'm going to take Utah.
You said it was 2.5.
It is 2.5. If it stays 2.5, I'm going to take Utah.
You can get down on it now, boy. You got mobile.
I was thinking. You're right. You're right.
You might. Hey, there's a much bigger difference between 2.5 and 3 than 2.5 and 2. or 1.5. So even at college.
I kind of meant for my picks tomorrow. I got my 5 picks laid out for tomorrow, but quarterback situations can
All right, put me down
change.
for 2.5 right now.
Gotcha.
Can we do that? Can we do? Don't
got a
forget.
phone?
Don't forget. I'm right with the picks tomorrow. I'm trying to secure.
No,
for
Max won't allow it. Max won't allow it.
So the only one we're allowing to get down early on favorable lines is Max.
Yes.
He's in
Another wedding.
He's a caboose.
Yeah.
All these weddings are
He got to go off for the
They're
weekend.
kind of throwing his game off this year. Don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana with our great long-standing team. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title. 296-0060.
Live at Sammy's in Prairieville. Live at lunch.
Colucci time.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, speaking of your picks, I snuck that little San Francisco in as repurposed it for football Sunday, and easy peasy, down in the Big Easy. Nice little cash ticket on the 49ers. Thank you, Colucci.
Well, it happens occasionally, I'll be honest with you. I did pretty good, though, Jimmy. I'll be honest with you, just because I actually bet against the Cowboys, too. I took the points there. I thought it was a little inflated. Thought even the Giants might have been able to, end that Dallas winning streak. But, the Cowboys, they have a high-powered offense. I'll give them credit. But that defense, that secondary was just shredded and shredded. And the Saints made us sweat. The Saints played well. You gotta give them credit. Even though San Francisco really short-manned in that game, it doesn't. That's regardless. New Orleans played well, I have to say. So, it was tough overall, but we did make a little money on Sunday. Saturday was tough. You saw those matchups. You saw how some of those outcomes came out. And, Saturdays are always tougher, in my opinion, than the NFL, believe it or not. I kind of focus in on the NFL a little more. And, we were able to cash some tickets, and we'll see if we can keep the momentum going, guys.
Yeah, man. Well, you got to be walking on air, huh? You pick the Giants, so they cover, and then your pokes win. Nothing like running the ball, setting up for a 64-yard tying field goal, huh? How about that guy?
Thank God we got him already. Thank God we got that monster. He's just a phenomenal kicker. You feel confidence even with the distance. It's just amazing how well this man can kick, and it's shades of Justin Tucker from about 6-7 years ago, where you just felt the guy was kind of automatic. So, Dallas has a great kicking game, great offense, horrible defense. Dak is really playing well. They're getting good running back, production, as well as CD stepping it up this week. The prior week, Dallas could have been 2-0 if Lamb makes a couple of key catches, and Pickens is definitely complimentary. They have to get him involved.
How is 33 not in the Ring of Honor? Huh? That number retired? Huh? With Tony D?
Yeah.
I was surprised watching that.
I tell you the truth. Jerry is an enigma, guys. You know that. After Tony Dorsett. Tony Dorsett has got to be there before Emmitt Smith, no? Emmitt was the greatest running back Dallas ever had, but like you said, you got to take some of these things into consideration. I just don't understand where the thought process is at times, but you got to understand it's Jerry Jones. That's it. It's Jerry.
Enigma.
I can't put him in over Emmitt Smith, but I can tell you that he was a difference in the first team he was on when they beat Denver, and that was the guy that got him over the hump. Because they had lost to Pittsburgh. They had come up short against Minnesota. He put them over the top. They beat Denver, and then they played that great Super Bowl against the Steelers in Miami, where they came up short, but Dorsett was really good in that game, too. That guy's slam dunk Hall of Famer. How can you not be in
no
Ring of Honor?
comparison with the production, but I'd like to see 33 running behind some of them holes that Emmett had.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see
Emmett
that.
ran behind one of the best offensive lines in the history of the league.
Listen, supporting cast, or whether it's a great coach, great play, with it all.
Both play with Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's collective, but
that offensive line was strong for Emmett, definitely, and you did have all the complementary players. When you look at the skill positions, Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper, You had Novacek, the Moose was blocking in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, Aikman was just Mr. Precision. That was a Jimmy Johnson-built team. And let me tell you something, that man, that's why he goes down, in my opinion, as definitely a top 3 coach ever. So successful at the pro level, so successful at the college level, and just, a guy that people want to play for. That's what Jimmy Johnson was, and that is so rare when you have that unique quality.
I got to go look at it. More Hall of Famers, 77 Cowboys or 93 Cowboys. It's probably close.
Yeah, definitely. Charlie.
We're live here from Sammy's. It's Cowboys Today with Dwayne Colucci, each and every week at this time. So, if you haven't
his favorite team could have been the Browns.
If you haven't gotten enough Cowboys coverage on ESPN, you can tune in here every Thursday. So, all right, well, let's get to it. Before we get to, where the action is and the college and pro slate for this weekend, give me your best bet, Colucci. Come on, in the NFL, and give us a breakdown why.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think tonight is a decent spot for Miami. Most of the sharps jumped on them. I think that, Buffalo has been riding such an extreme wave. And, I just think that there's room for a letdown. And a letdown, I mean, maybe winning by 10 points. I mean, we opened the game at 12.5 at the Rampart in South Point. We're now sitting at 11.5. We had it kind of high, but I think 11.5 now it's settled in, and it's the right number, But I would be looking to take Miami. I think, Tua's got to step it up a little. You want to keep Tyreek Hill somewhat happy, but I don't know how you do that. Get the ball to Waddle a little and mix it up. Maybe if the defense could play a little defense, you could hold Josh Allen and maybe, he's having a letdown. But I would take Miami definitely with the points. Not necessarily my best bet of the week, for that. I would have to say, looking at the way these games are being played, I think the Chargers are starting to be overvalued. I mean, they dominated the other night in Las Vegas, but it's still the Las Vegas Raiders. They have no offensive line. You have a rookie running back in Genti who's definitely serviceable, but, how much could this guy do in the second game of the season? And, Geno just was scrambling back there for his life. No big wide receiver downfield threats. So I think the Chargers were tailor-made, whereas now I think the Denver Broncos with a field goal could be my best bet of the week. I think their second game was much better than their first, and it was still, a life and death ending there. And, some people have a bad taste that they were robbed, what have you. But I definitely think that the Denver Broncos are going to bring their A game this week. That's why you're not seeing it over 3. Most people value a home field at about a 3, 2.5 edge, depending on the team, depending on the circumstances. This is a division rivalry. Chargers didn't have to travel at all. Las Vegas to Los Angeles is nothing. Back home in a comfortable position, and they're only 3. So keep your eye on this game. I'd love to get 3.5. We're sitting at 3 at the Rampart in South Point. Like I said, naturally it was bet up from 2.5 because the Chargers look so glamorous. McConkey, all those guys that they could distribute the ball. They have a 2-pronged running attack, and it seems like they use Najee Harris now late in the game to solidify wins, control the clock. But, they fumbled a couple of times. Geno had a couple of chances, definitely down the stretch, to get the Raiders into a winning position. It just wasn't happening because of that offensive line. And, they gave up a couple of deep balls. I think Denver will be a little more solid on the deep ball, and I think that they could contain that running attack, forcing Herbert to do a lot more, but he's definitely capable. He looks like the MVP after the first 2 weeks. But remember your Saints last year, Carr looked like the MVP, scoring 100 points. That doesn't mean anything in this day's NFL. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos. Hopefully could get back over 3, but I'll take the field goal right now.
But it's a perfect transition because the Saints have playing this just the opposite. So they will look like they may have been the best team in the league, and it went off. But now they're playing the okey doke. They're going the other way. They just threw the first 2 games, and now they're getting ready to go on a serious run, a tear, and just really rip through the rest of the NFL. You like that, huh?
I like it. I like that. That's definitely a good breakdown there, to be honest, especially a hometown breakdown. I love it.
I'm Captain Sunshine when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. Just ask Charlie.
You have to.
Dinner with Mickey Loomis next week.
Yes. Hey, where's the action? Let's start with college. What any significant action at the Rampart that you're seeing?
Well, the college slate this week is much. I think it's better, I would say, than last week. I mean, I don't know. I just, college is such a tough sport, and we're seeing a little Clemson money. Let me talk about that right off the bat because, they were at 17.5. Now they're back to 17. We did see some sharp action on them. This is a good spot for them to get a victory. We talk about the Dabu juice every week. This is a must-win for this team, if you ask me. And Syracuse is definitely right. I think they're a team that could definitely, be beaten in this position. Oregon now has become a market favorite. I mean, we have a ticket count now of 5-1 on them, and we're talking mostly parlays and teasers. Guys aren't just going to go crazy on straight bets on them because you're laying such a high point spread and it's 35, and it is an interstate rivalry, if you want to call it that. But we've been seeing tons of parlays and teasers on Oregon. They're definitely one of the teams that now we were going to have to, similar to Colorado the last couple of years, we're going to have to take them down each and every week. And when you tease them down to a 29-28, it definitely becomes more appealing against an 0-3 Oregon State team. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. In this day and age, when you can't score and you have a high-powered offense, that's what it comes down to. Initially, in the Auburn-Oklahoma game, we saw a lot of Oklahoma money. It's now gotten back to 6.5. It was at 7. But the ticket count on this one, guys, is about 7.5-1 in favor of Oklahoma,
Okay.
and the money is the same. So we're seeing a lot of Oklahoma money here, guys. But I like Auburn in this position. I'll be honest with you. I think Auburn definitely is a play in this spot, and I'll take those points all day. I'd love to see you get back to 7. Naturally, we're seeing some Michigan money, synonymous Nebraska. They get to this point, they're always undefeated. Then they have that big game, and ticket count, is slightly in favor of Michigan, but the money is 3-1 right now. Michigan minus 2.5 on the road here at the Rampart in South Point. So most of the parlays and teasers are going on Michigan in that game. I'm surprised. A lot of Purdue takers in the Notre Dame-Purdue game. I think Notre Dame showed a few holes now, and definitely they are susceptible. And when you're laying 25 points at the Rampart in South Point, that's a lot of points, and it's bet down from 2. Bet down 2 points already from 27 to 25. So keep that in mind. A lot of Purdue action here, parlays and teasers. Ticket count also slightly there in favor of Purdue. Missouri is a big market, decision. We have 2-1. Ticket count is 4-1 on Missouri, so keep that in mind as well. Missouri getting bet very well here at the Rampart in South Point. That's a few of the games. And don't be deceived. The opener was 13. It's at 10.5, but we are still, I repeat, still taking Missouri money in that game.
Yeah, the line shows you that looks like Sellers is going to try and give it a run, who was knocked out for South Carolina, the quarterback, against Vandy early in that game. Some look-ahead spots, too. The big ones, Oregon, Penn State. Penn State is 3 right now against Oregon. Of course, Penn State on a bye this week, and Oregon plays Oregon State. Alabama and Georgia. Georgia's 4.5 at home, and LSU on the road at Oxford is a 1.5 point favorite over the Johnny Rebels. What about the pros? They betting the Packers with both hands after that high-profile Thursday night win?
Well, of course, now they're the darlings of the NFL, and, you're going to see this throughout until there's an injury or, something happens. There's sort of, a kink in their defense. Maybe you'll start to see teams, the public, I should say, bet against Green Bay. But, now we're seeing the Cowboys -1 on the road. Ticket count is high on the Cowboys, 5.5-1. Money is 3-1 against the Bears. Bears and Caleb look terrible. I don't understand why he can't grasp an offense. At times he shows that he can, but when it comes crunch time, Jimmy, Caleb Williams is just not the guy, I'll be honest with you. We're seeing Steeler money before they travel to Europe next week. This is a key game, in my opinion. I think the Steelers really need to exert themselves. -1.5 on the road. Ticket count 2-1 on the Steelers. Money is 4-1 on the Steelers. We're seeing some Ram money, plus the 3.5. Rams, definitely, we're seeing some money on them taking over the field goal. Ticket count is in favor of the Eagles, actually, but the money is in favor of the Rams, about 2-1. So a lot of parlays and teasers, whereas the Sharps are laying it with the Eagles. Like you said, the pack is ridiculous. Ticket count is 10-1 on that game. Actually, 20-1 on that game.
Very good. We're out of time. We're out of time. Kaluch, follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne, at NYBookieDwayne. His pick this week again in the pros is going to be those Denver Broncos going down to, what's the name of that stadium in L.A.? SoFi. There we go. Kaluch, you're the best, man. Enjoy your football weekend, man. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. Total Maintenance, 480-1000 at AC. Still hot, rough here in South Louisiana. Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980s. Service today, every day. AC heating, generator, installation, and maintenance. And with factory authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem products. So we're authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings as well. So we're covering both Baton Rouge and New Orleans areas, but we have completely different staff and office, so we don't compromise either of them. The unit breaks down today. Call our friends over at Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
8 Hall of Famers for the 77 Cowboys, 6 Hall of Famers for the 93 Cowboys. Live at Sammy's in Prairieville, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway in Prairieville. On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Come on out and see us for lunch here at Sammy's in Prairieville. Also a great place to watch the games. Got a nice little setup here in the bar. We always enjoy that if you want to watch some Thursday night football. Big favorites tonight, Buffalo. Tua in his career, Jimmy, in the division. 13-1 against the Patriots and the Jets. 1-8 against the Bills. That's not all Tua, but
that's what I was hitting at with their team. I mean, they've beaten up pretty good on the teams they're supposed to. And
you used the right word, bully.
Yeah, they're a real bully. I gotta believe it's partly due to their style of play. I mean, with Waddle and Tyreek and they were productive again this bad. And Ashan, that's good against some weak teams, but it is you got to have a little level of physicality when you come to some of the stronger teams.
Yeah, I think the offensive skill position people are fine.
They weren't on the opener in Indianapolis.
No, but the quarterback kept the skill position people outside of the quarterback.
And have they been traditionally when they play a tougher team?
No, well Tyreek Hill is. I mean, Tyreek Hill has scored against everybody. I think Achane is a very good back.
I wonder what Tyreek Hill's numbers are in their losses against the stronger teams.
And he is an older guy now, but I've seen Tyreek Hill play big in big games. Some of them in Kansas City, and I've seen him play big in some big games from Miami. And I think Waddle is a good receiver, a good NFL receiver. I think Achane's a good back. I don't know if Tua's an upper-level quarterback. Well, you got Tua, I kind of got him, back into Group 2 or the top end of Group 3.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, if he's throwing a ball like he was throwing against
I got Lawrence a little higher than him.
I got Lawrence a lot higher than him.
Well, you said you had them both in the middle. So what do you mean?
For the future, if I was building around one of them. Okay. Right now, yeah, they're probably pretty close to the same stats. Hour number 2, straight ahead here. Sammy's in Prairieville, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway in Prairieville. On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here for hour number 2, live at lunch here at Sammy's. We got some good stuff on the menu here, as well as you tell me about this trawl grilled crab, I think is what you said.
Yeah, it's a Monday special that we have over here. So both locations over here in Prairieville at the old airline Old Perkins near Airline location. But again, charbroiled crabs with three of them with corn and potatoes for just $12.95. So kind of do a little seasoning on them and kind of break them open and throw them on the char grill. They're pretty good, really good, actually. So, and then Monday night, so that's Monday night along with Monday Night Football starting at 5 p.m. $2 off wings and 2-for-1 draft ultra of our Ultra and Bud Light. And that's what we got the special tonight as well. So Monday night and Thursday night football, NFL football, is $2 off wings tonight and 2-for-1 Ultra and Bud Light draft. That is Monday and Thursday, starting at 5 p.m. at both Sammy's locations. So burgers, sandwiches, Charlie, cheeseburger, chicken club. That's one of my favorite. The grilled chicken club, man. Used to always go down to Sammy's during my college years in the late 80s and go get that. Po' boys, from a homemade roast beef with the jus, the oyster, catfish, shrimp, surf and turf po' boy, or the half po' boy with half soup. That's a good one as well. And so you get the wraps, Caesar wrap, chicken Caesar wrap, shrimp Caesar wrap, buffalo wrap, sugar cane wrap. That's chicken or shrimp with romaine, 3-cheese blend, jalapeno, bacon, sugar cane sauce. So kids menu is available as well. And so a little bit of something for everybody. Appetizers, of course, are those legendary fried mozzarella sticks, the jumbo mozzarella sticks with our homemade marinara sauce with a little Italian herbs and seasoning in that batter that we do it. So wings are outstanding as well. Always good stuff, man, at Sammy's Grill, both on Highland Road near Starring and also here in Prairieville and Old Perkins near Airline.
Some more games that we wanted to talk about coming up this weekend. 6:30 down in Miami, Florida, and the number 4 Hurricanes. This has been an excellent start for the Canes. Carson Beck is now the favorite in some circles to win the Heisman Trophy. They got a good win against Notre Dame, and they blew out South Florida last week, who had had two good wins of their own. But on the other side, Jimmy, I got to ask the question: is Billy Napier coaching for his job this week? Hear me out.
No.
Okay, well, hear me out on this. They got a bye next week before Texas. In the last 2 weeks, not only have they lost, but you got a guy spitting on another player. And yesterday, we got a real good look at the video. We had a kind of a grainy snapshot of it before the show. But after the show, we got to see Jabbar Jalouk slapped a player. One of your coaches went across the field and slapped a player. I know he was suspended for 3 games of this. But one of your coaches went across the field and slapped a player on the other side. A week after your guy spit on another guy. Your quarterback threw 5 interceptions. You've got a losing record overall. 2 schools have already made moves on coaches before we get to the end of September. If they go down there and get beat by 3 or 4 touchdowns, I'm not sure they don't fire him on Sunday. I could see that. That certainly adds to it. And you want to throw in 20 penalties, 20 accepted penalties the last 2 weeks. Yeah. And we're talking about game-altering penalties, and not just a lack of discipline, with the personal fouls or the spitting. So that, no, your point is well taken. That would make it possible. But I would say no. The reason I say no was because he was in an impossible situation last year with the schedule and the way the season was going. You fire him, you might lose your locker room. Although he's lost somewhat, but that is rare for them to be having such a rough season as they were last year and to still keep fighting. So they play hard. Effort was not the problem. In the first on-field interview, I think after the end of the first quarter, he talked about saying, well, at least we showed we came to play. They didn't necessarily come to play. Had they had that intensity against South Florida, I don't think South Florida pulls the upset at the Swamp. So he's been here before. He kept them playing hard, and it allowed them to beat Ole Miss and LSU and be very competitive till Lagway went out with an injury against Georgia. Those are good teams, man. And so, I mean, you might be it might get really ugly if you launch him right now. But to your point, no. Those are indicators, along with the penalties, that he's lost control, not just of the players on the field with their lack of discipline,
I think they're playing hard effort-wise. He's got them. And also your staff. I mean, you can't have it.
And one more thing, I touched on this at the beginning of the show, not necessarily specific to Florida. This is Game 4. What if players on this team come and say, you know what, we're opting out right now. We're going to save the year because we can redshirt after 4 games. And what if one of those guys is Lagway? You know, it could go the other way on.
Think he wants to stay 3 more years?
No, but if
why would he do that?
Well, if he saves the year, he can go somewhere else next year. I mean, do I think? If he quits now, he wants to play 3 more years in college football. That's what you're saying. Yeah, no, I understand that.
No, I don't see that. I don't see that.
I don't think. I got to consider it though, because we've seen this happen before, where guys said, you know what, 4 games, we suck, I'm out.
Well, we're talking about Lagway. We're talking about Florida here.
Yeah.
You're saying that's a possibility.
I can't rule it out.
Well,
Do I think it's likely?
I'll bet against it.
If they go down there and get routed, that he says, you know what, I'm going to move
now,
on.
he may pull that if he fires coach.
And how much differently does he feel about Napier now than he did last year? Last year, okay, you're going to save his job. This year, I don't know if his job is savable. It may
I
not
just
be this
can't
week.
see that guy wanting to play 3 more years in college football.
Well, he probably doesn't. But just in case, it's a what if.
I know you're talking about that a lot, and that's fine. But the impact guys, they got their eye on the NFL more than an extra year or 2 years. Okay, so they want to play 3 years. A lot of them. They play 4. How many guys that are impact guys you play 5 years?
They don't, Jimmy. But it's different now because right now DJ Lagway, if he was
how many did it last year? They were struggling last. How many Florida players quit? Okay,
all right. Well, none of them did. But right now,
I think you're making it out to be a little bit more than it is, especially with Lagway.
If they get blown out, and do I think he wants to play 3 more years of college football? No, but right now his draft status is pretty low.
Well, he needs reps. Go play.
And
why sit on a bench?
If you preserve that year, it's a $4 million year in college football.
This year, and the 8 more starts, maybe a bowl game, and then 2 more seasons is plenty. If he's not developed by then, he probably won't be. I'll be surprised if he pulls out. Especially, this is the guy that's had to sit because of injuries.
If they're competitive down there, I think everything stays put. If they get routed, I think it's going to be an ugly Sunday. Not necessarily for Lagway. I just want to throw that out there. But Napier could lose his job on Sunday if they go down there and get
It's not too much different from last year, minus they could launch the coach. So they stayed with him last year. And he proved that he could keep them playing hard last year. So we'll see.
Let's see how they do.
I mean, they got some, as you pointed out, they do have more, hanging over their heads and more, shenanigans going on. But I think that, Charlie, I think that angle is minimal at best.
Let's see what happens if they get. I'm saying if they get routed. If they don't get routed, then everything probably
routed
stays.
last year.
They got routed with the backup quarterback in Texas.
Okay,
Lagway was out of that game. North Carolina, TCU and SMU. TCU had the big opening win against North Carolina. The big spread. They blew out North Carolina. And then they got a win, and then they got a week off, and they're at home against SMU, who had that tough loss to Baylor, sandwiched in between a couple of easy wins. It's a real competitive game if we're looking at this to start. It is in Fort Worth at the TCU at Amon Carter Stadium. And TCU's a little under a touchdown pick here.
Range Rover Bowl, baby. Yes, indeed. So, I mean, these are two. One thing that we're kind of seeing is, we know about Texas Tech and Cody Campbell because he's so high profile and the money he's dumping in. But SMU's coming with their money. I just think that this price is a little bit in check because they had such a good season last year, but they lost a lot. The quarterback is having to carry a big part of the load. TCU, on the other hand, that quarterback's going to be drafted, second round, third round. You saw him in that standalone game where he was, he can make all the throws, man. And he's been there, Josh Hoover. He's been there for 4 years. So this is his first year starting, but he has waited around. He's been in the system. Dykes, there's some continuity there. And there's a revenge spot. It's the last time that these teams are going to play for a while, so they'll go put the iron skillet on the side for a little bit. And the other thing that they did was secure their spots. So they've taken from their Southwest Conference roots, Mountain West Conference, now the Big 12 for TCU, and they got into Big 12 for a little bit, and they got knocked out again. And then SMU, you saw how bad the conference affiliation meant to them. Y'all keep your TV money for a few years. We got that handled. So they secured that conference affiliation to be in the major conferences. The future is bright for teams like Texas Tech, SMU, TCU, all these money schools from the state of Texas. I just love this spot. Revenge, last time, and they're a better team. TCU's better than SMU this year. At home, this is a circle game for them. I like TCU in a big way.
Jimmy, this game got really heated with the Sonny Dykes situation. Now that Sonny Dykes is at TCU, SMU just despises TCU. This thing has been full of penalties over the last couple contests between these two teams.
They the students, they're half a mile apart. Half an hour drive apart. Between these two schools. So I just think TCU's a better team this year, and I'll take them at home in a revenge spot, and obviously circle spot.
6:30 game on Saturday night. I love this. I love this matchup. Illinois and Indiana in Bloomington. Both of these teams come in at 3-0. Luke Altmaier, the Illinois quarterback, is off to a fantastic start. Illinois, under Brett Bielema, I think he has done a really, really good job there. Maybe it was just the stylistic that caught him at Arkansas. It was too much of a transition to it, but in the Big Ten,
he was close to turning the corner, don't you think?
Well, he sort of did, and then they kind of plateaued a little bit. I mean, the first season when he went 0-8, he was trying to go from the remnants of Petrino's offense, not even Petrino's offense, the remnants of it through the 1 year.
Started 0-14, won his last two conference games,
and then they were coming on a little bit, and then that third year, the fourth year, they were really competitive and good. And then I guess he kind of plateaued. I think he's a really good coach. I don't know that.
I do too.
He's certainly done a great job at Illinois. Here's the number I'm going to give you, Jimmy.
He's gone to Champaign, and he's clearly got a better program than what he left. And, that's won way more games at Wisconsin.
Illinois was 4-2 against ranked teams last year. Indiana was 0-2.
I don't know how many of those teams finished ranked.
No, they were ranked when they played.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
But they were 4-2 against ranked teams last year. Indiana last year against ranked teams was 0-2. So this is finally for Indiana. And look, the two games Indiana played against ranked teams, they were outmatched. Okay, against Penn State and against Notre Dame. They're not outmatched here. This is a fair fight. So this is a chance for them to finally, the Fighting West Reynolds, to put a win against a ranked team, a team that's got some gravitas to it, if you want to use that, and win a game against what is now a top 10 team in Illinois.
Check this out. Illinois, Indiana, Big Ten kind of second-tier programs, although, to be fair, Illinois had more high points than Indiana. Stupid. It's supposed to start with an I, second tier. One's coming off of 52-7, outscoring their opponents 52-7. The other one's outscoring them 45-7. Think the coaches are decent personalities, too? I would say. Yeah. This guy, the fighting Signetti's, and then the other guy who definitely can recruit. Cocktail server for the win. Yeah, count me in. How about this? Altmaier, Mendoza, completion percentage, both 72%. Both thrown for 236 a game. How about the leading rushers? Fegan for Indiana, he's got 74 a game. Black for Illinois, he's got 72 a game. Illinois, I got that backwards. Wide receivers, Beatty, 96 a game. Cooper, 99 a game. This is fun. Sharp money is on Indiana. This thing opened up 4.5. It's at 6 right now. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I think this is a flip of the coin. And, I mean, I don't expect Altmaier with all of his – he looks really good. Now, Duke is the best team they play, but, it's a better team.
It's a road win.
It's a quality road win. The score was exaggerated because the turnovers, 5-0, and then Duke failed to get a fourth down as well. But, man, I think Illinois might be a little bit better. I don't know, but I know it's damn close. And I know that's not the most imposing place to play in Bloomington. Illinois is not going to be affected by playing at Bloomington. I think it's a toss-up game. I'm a little curious why this number is so big. And last year, okay, Indiana got to the playoff. Illinois won 10 games. So these were the non-traditional powers trying to follow up really good seasons from last year. And so far, so good. And they also look good so far. So
and you're right. The 4 teams that they beat that were ranked when they beat them were not ranked at the end of the season. Kansas, Nebraska, Michigan, and South Carolina were the teams that they beat that were ranked when they played them. And the two games that they lost against ranked teams, they were on the road both times, at Penn State and at Oregon. They were competitive at Penn State. They got routed in Eugene. The only game they lost they really weren't supposed to lose was against Minnesota. They lost an 8-point game there. So it was a really solid season.
They missed Penn State this year, right? They only have one of the big. Oh no, they play.
They play Ohio State,
and that's it. No Oregon, no Penn State, no Michigan this year, right?
Right.
Yeah. So. Right. Favorable. And Indiana's schedule was so bad last year. It's slightly better, but not much this year. But these are two teams kind of fighting for that. I mean, this game could decide, one of those playoff spots at the end of the year.
Brought to you by the Thibodaux Store and the Pierre Part Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux and Highway 70 in Pierre Part. If you go to the website at thethibodauxstore.com, a lot of these items that you can shop for, you can do same-day pickup. A lot of them are available for delivery, but if you're in a hurry, you want something for the weekend, same-day pickup is available. We tell you about the outdoor kitchens all the time and the tailgating equipment. So if you're going out tailgating this weekend, or we're still pretty early in the college football season, tailgating gear that you can use all year long, from your grills and griddles all the way down to your accessory items. Head on down to the Thibodaux Store, the Pierre Part Store.
It's time, baby. It's crunch time. So that Jimmy out tailgating weather is right around the corner, but we've already begun. But, hey, you've got to if you're doing your own tailgate cooking instead of doing the catering, if you're at your outdoor kitchen, if you're at home next week, at watching the Ole Miss game, 2:30 kickoff in Vaught Hemingway. Tigers early 1.5-point favorite in the Grove. So you having a watch party, you're doing your outdoor cooking, your outdoor kitchen, man, you got to get down to the Thibodaux Store. It is a must for home chefs, outdoor chefs like myself. So go by and see your friends over at the Thibodaux Store and the Pierre Part Store.
900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierre Part, and online, thethibodauxstore.com. Live at Sammy's in Prairieville, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway in Prairieville. On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. If you're having a hard time, hunters, fishermen, getting those camps insured, getting your boats, your trailers, your tractors, your RVs, all of those things that are difficult to insure, especially in the coastal areas where you might need flood insurance. Talk to our friends at the Morris Insurance Group. Morris-IG.com is the website, or you can call them at 225-201-0007, 201-0007. Talk to my man Buzzy Hydale. He'll help you out. Also do auto, homeowners, and commercial insurance. But for those hard-to-insure items, those big boy toys, your motorcycles, your tractors, your trailers, and all of your fishing camps, and even if you need flood insurance, check out the Morris Insurance Group, Morris-IG.com and 201-0007. The Jackson Arnold Bowl this weekend in Norman. They
launched him. Do they have the same venom?
I don't think
it's totally different, huh?
No, I think it's.
There's a little venom at Yeoman Saturday.
Yeah. He left them. But if Syracuse had gone to, well, maybe it's a bad example, but if Syracuse had gone to Ohio State, you think they were mad at Kyle McCord?
No, they
let him go. They pushed him out.
They pushed him out.
Yeah. And that's what happened here. They pushed Jackson Arnold out. So no, I don't think that they are. I don't think that they're overly upset with him, but I am interested that that's an Oklahoma staff that is very familiar with Jackson Arnold, his pluses and his minuses, and Jackson Arnold is very familiar with a lot of the personnel for Oklahoma.
Had 07, you win one, and say you win 2 out the next 3 out of 4 while Saban's in Alabama. Think they'd have been a venom for Alabama then too? Hell no. They got the better quarterback here. So I don't care, Arnold was more highly recruited. Matier's better.
Yes.
And I mean, just period. So, and this is one of the good things about the transfer portal, because the better players are getting the more high profile opportunities.
Matier,
Cam Ward deserved more than Incarnate Word. Matier deserved more than Washington State. The Washington State now. Not
Correct.
the Washington State when they're in the Pac-12.
And I agree with you that Matier is better, but Jackson Arnold is off to a good start. And I've never been a big Jackson Arnold guy, but I have to acknowledge
1/3 of his touches are runs. That's way too high. Way too high. He trusts his legs way more. And that's against Baylor's not a good defense and some really weak defenses. So if he's electing to run that much, that's not going to get it done. To me right now, he is a one-dimensional quarterback. And Brett Venables is not going to allow a one-dimensional quarterback to beat him. He's going to have to beat him with what he hasn't shown to this point, and that's with his arm. And so, that's a high percentage for a guy to be running that much, 1/3 of his total steps.
Well,
but not 1/3 of his total touches.
Well, Matier's got almost as many runs as he does.
Matier can run, but Matier has played a little bit tougher competition. Michigan certainly is a better defense than Baylor, and you start from there. But no, Matier is a dual-threat quarterback. Right now, Arnold, who he's supposed to be, he doesn't trust his arm at all. And they don't. I mean, how many times they called a quarterback draw against Baylor, and they just couldn't stop it?
Well, without going too crazy about defending Jackson Arnold, because I'm picking Oklahoma in this game. Let me just say that a day in advance. This is one of my 5-pack tomorrow. As long as it doesn't go over 7, I'm taking the Sooners because I like them here. But Jackson Arnold has completed 70% of his passes, 7.5 yards an attempt, 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's thrown the ball better in these 3 games I hadn't seen all 3 games. I saw the highlights of the South Alabama game, and I saw the game against Baylor. He has thrown the ball better, is all I'm saying. I don't like him better than Matier either. And I like Oklahoma in this game, but Arnold's been better than I thought.
Be careful with those statistics against these schedules, man, in college football to this point. You saw the Baylor game.
I did. He was better than I thought.
You thought he threw the ball well?
I thought he threw the ball better than I remember him throwing it at Oklahoma. I thought he was bad.
All he did
Oklahoma.
was run.
I thought he was bad. I think he's a little bit better now. That's all I'm saying. A little bit better. I like Oklahoma.
He should be. He should be, but it's.
He's better now, and he's in a better situation, I guess, for him.
You got to take your starting quarterback and have him run that much, design runs, when you play in cupcakes like that? Why are you going to get him hurt in a rent-a-win? So if he's running now again that high percentage now, what about when the schedule gets tougher like now?
I don't want to be in a situation where I'm taking up for Jackson Arnold. I've disparaged him enough over the last couple of years. I thought he was horrifically overrated.
Quarterbacks can improve. Quarterbacks should improve.
And he has improved. He's better. He's not better than Matier,
I don't
but he's
think
better.
we can determine that by what they played to this point. And even Baylor might be a decent team, but they suck on defense. They sucked last year on defense. They got everybody back, they suck again.
They're terrible on defense.
They're terrible, dude.
I can't argue that. You laying the points?
Yeah, I like Oklahoma in this spot.
Okay, we both.
Yeah, do. It's a shame that they don't have Texas schedule because they could make a real run, but their schedule really kind of tempers my enthusiasm as far as real. I mean, how are they not going to lose 3 games with that schedule? It's just tough. It's really tough. Revenge spot here, maybe. That was a horrible loss for Auburn. Lead and the ball near midfield, and they throw a pick 6.
Yeah.
When Oklahoma had no chance of driving the length of the field for a touchdown in
Oklahoma
that game.
absolutely stole that one last year.
Yeah. So, but they got to. I think Matiers is going to get better and better for everything about him: decisions, toughness, instincts, moxie. Just everything. can throw it a little bit better than average, can run it a little bit better than average. He's a winner, man, and I think they're just going to get better. It's just that schedule just does not.
I like Mitchell. I said it a dozen times or more that if Nussmeier had gone pro, that's where LSU was going to go put their money. I remain convinced of that.
I wasn't convinced by the hoopla, comparing him to Diego Pavia in the offseason. He's a find. No, he's a good quarterback. They got a chance for a really good season this year. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, and shutters. That's right, including the siding. You can do the vinyl siding. When it comes to ensuring the protection and lasting style of your home, there's no better option than high-quality siding as provided by Relief Windows. Vinyl siding or the Hardy Plank siding. Hardy Plank siding, we're James Hardy preferred contractor, bringing the very best in siding directly to your home. The fiber cement produced products can help give your home high-end curb appeal and low maintenance. So Relief Windows for windows, doors, siding, and shutters. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 288-8138 and reliefwindows.com.
Live at the Sammy's in Prairieville, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway in Prairieville. On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Scott to Las Vegas, visit with me since Matt Humans, as we do each and every week at this time. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, buddy. Just getting ready for Thursday night football and a big week of college football, and hopefully some more winners this weekend. It's been a bit of a slow start to the season. Okay, but not that great so far.
All right, we'll get to college in depth with all your picks, and I'll discuss what we've seen to this point, and maybe take some angles away. But before we do that, your best NFL pick and why?
I'm going to give you two again because I don't want to give you the wrong one. But there's two games I really like this week in the NFL, and I also have a total. I rarely bet totals, so this is going to be a rare totals. But I'm 1-0 in the season on NFL totals, so I'm full of confidence. Let's see, I'm going to go Broncos +3 at the Chargers and Rams +3.5 at the Eagles. And my NFL total of the week is Cowboys, Bears over 50.5. So there you go. There's three in the NFL.
All right. Why the Rams +3.5?
So the Rams defensive front seven is extremely strong, really high on their defensive fronts. Talked about this in the offseason. I was very optimistic about the Rams, and then the Matthew Stafford back injury popped up, and everybody was racing to fade the Rams in terms of futures and win total and everything like that. I like this team a lot, especially with Devontae Adams added to Puka Nacua. You got two big-time wide receivers. Kyron Williams is a stud running back. A lot of options. A lot of big weapons around Matthew Stafford in that offense, but the defensive front seven, to me, is going to be one of the best in the NFL. Right now, the Eagles can't take advantage of what might be a Rams' weakness in the secondary because this Eagles passing offense is completely out of sync right now. Jalen Hurts and his receivers not on the same page at all. And if you watched the Eagles' first 2 weeks, I'm sure you have, I felt like Philadelphia got fortunate to beat the Cowboys. If C.D. Lamb could catch, the Cowboys would have won that game. And then the Eagles go on the road to KC last week. If you look at the box score, it's not that impressive. Travis Kelce doesn't drop that pass at the goal line, and the Eagles take it 40 yards the other way. I still think KC was going to win that game. And I'm high on the Eagles in general, but I think you've seen some problems here in the slow start for Philadelphia. So I'm going to try to take advantage of that. But the Rams in I'm going to say, a rematch of the divisional playoff game in which Matthew Stafford had a first down around the 20-yard line toward the end of the game and had a chance to stun the Eagles and knock them out of the playoffs. And I think the Rams are going to get a bit of revenge here. So that's why I'm going with the Rams +3.5.
Jimmy tells me that Travis Kelce's distracted. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I think my man's got a little on the plate these days, and he's getting up there in age. So,
Yep.
I mean, just – what about Mahomes lowering his shoulder, Matt? And in both of these games, all this, is he nuts? What is he thinking?
Well, Mahomes is feeling it a little bit. You remember, was it last year or the year before against the 49ers when he lowered his shoulder against Tufanga at the goal line and flattened him?
Yeah.
That was a pretty impressive play. I can't forget that from Mahomes. He's not afraid to deliver a hit. He's not one of those quarterbacks who's just going to go out there and try to avoid hits. But I think Mahomes is also playing with an edge right now. The Chiefs 0-2 and hearing about their decline. I don't think Mahomes' play has been the problem so far. Travis Kelce's decline, the fact that the wide receiver core is diminished right now, that's a bit of a problem for the Chiefs, but I still think Mahomes is playing about the highest level.
All right, college football. Boy, a lot of games starting early. 9 a.m. your time, 11 ours. Some good matchups, but who you on so far?
All right, so I played Miami of Ohio, +3. I don't know if you can get a 3 out there in the market right now. This number was 3.5. And I know Brad Powers, one of the handicappers or touts who released Miami as a play, and that number dropped from 3.5 to 2.5. But I think Miami at +3, and if you're in the buy and a half point, you can't find anything better than 2.5. I think it's worth it. That's a body clock game and a post-bye game. A couple of negative situations for me. One is that a UNLV team that's 3-0, feeling like it's probably better than it really is, going to the Eastern time zone for an early kickoff, and the Rebels are also off a bye week, which I think is a negative when you've been winning. They were playing good football, then you take a bye, and I don't like that. A lot of times I know a lot of handicappers think a bye is automatically always a good thing because the team's rested, but I don't like it when you're winning coming out of a bye. Also, another early start. I'm not sure why this number's so cheap, and it concerns me a little bit. I made the number 4.5. I played Utah -3. And I even saw 2.5s popping up on the screen middle of the week. I didn't get that. I laid 3 with the Utes. So I think the difference is they're stronger on the offensive and defensive lines. I know Texas Tech has put up some impressive numbers so far, but look at the competition. Not that the Utes have played the strongest schedule, but Utah has got Devin Dampier, the transfer quarterback from New Mexico, completing 73% of his passes right now. 7 touchdowns, no picks. He's only been sacked 2 times and 91 dropbacks. And I believe in Kyle Whittingham's offensive and defensive lines being the difference in that matchup. Did you guys happen to play Texas Tech, Utah?
Yeah, I got Utah. I'm a little surprised. I would have liked it at -4, but it's going down. It dipped down to 2.5. Charlie, where was that? Was that Bet Rivers earlier?
That was, or MGM, one of the two.
Okay,
the clean sweep were all in Utah.
No, I mean, Salt Lake City is, it's not an SEC venue, but damn, it's hard to play there. I mean, we've seen it, for years and years. And I think Whittingham, too, he, after the Cam Rising thing, hanging over their head for somebody, and rightfully so, man. 2 straight Rose Bowls. I mean, and the Penn State Rose Bowl shifted when he went out with the ACL, but it just hung over their head so much. And I like the way how Dampier trusts his legs more than his arm right now, but he runs them enough, and his play designs create easier opportunities for him to throw. So he doesn't need a dual threat guy like Alex Smith was for Urban Meyer there, where he could really run and throw it at Utah. But I just like how he handles it now. And for him to come back for another year this deep into his career, where a lot of people wondered if he was going to step aside and call it quits after last year. All that put together, look, Texas Tech with Cody Campbell's money, they're going to be around. But this is a tough ask for them to go into Salt Lake City on a short number. I think it's a little short.
I did too. Actually, you put it well there about Dampier and how the play calling definitely helps him out. He's rushed for about 200 yards so far. When I went to the Rose Bowl, and I know this Bruins defense is bad, but UCLA was hopeless to stop Dampier that night. So we're going to find out, I guess, how good Texas Tech is. I'm surprised this number's dropping. I don't necessarily like that. I wonder if somebody knows something we don't know. I've talked to 10 people this week, and 10 are on Utah, and nobody's on Texas Tech. I've seen the number drop, so that concerns me a little bit there. Tell you what, last week I watched UFC Purdue, and it was 33-17. I thought UFC left some points on the field out there. Purdue turned it over 3 times in the red zone. That game was delayed over 3 hours by lightning and still had 50 points put on the board with all the points I talked about these teams left off the board. Michigan State USC, late start in L.A., I think that's an 8 p.m. Pacific time kickoff on Fox again. I'm playing this over 56. Do you realize USC did not have a touchdown in the second half last week, but also the Trojans never punted in that game. This offense is really explosive. Big-time wide receivers. At LSU, you know what it's like to watch big-time wide receivers. USC's got some right now. It's Kobe Lane being one of them. So I'm going to play that over 56. I don't really like the early kickoff time in Salt Lake City. For the Fox Dune, I think that's 10 a.m. 10 a.m. in Salt Lake, 9 a.m. Pacific time. But, man, this is a late kickoff time in L.A., and I typically like playing the late games over the total a little bit more. So you don't have to worry about teams sleepwalking a little bit to start the game in the first half. So Michigan State, USC over, and then did play Hawaii +3, the home dog in Honolulu on Saturday night. I'm not really sure if Fresno deserves to be the favorite here. E.J. Warner, the son of Kurt Warner, is a quarterback. He's thrown 4 or 5 picks so far this season. He's a turnover-prone quarterback. The Fresno rushing attack is legit. Big concern that this could be like the Stanford matchup for Hawaii, where they wore down the Hawaii defensive line and they just run the ball right at them. I love Matt Ince, the new hire, as coach of Fresno. But Micah Alejado is back at quarterback. Hawaii's got a more explosive offense, and Hawaii's always dangerous as a home dog and just a tougher out on the island. So I took that 3. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Cal game last week. I was talking with you guys. I didn't think Minnesota deserved to be the favorite at Cal. And there were some sharp groups betting Minnesota up to -3 at kickoff, and Cal won that game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, we like
Cal
it
there, and I'm not sure Fresno deserves to be the favorite here, being bet up to 3.
Cal, your Friday night late game. Boy, how about that, huh? Shocker. Maui Matt. He's giving us 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock kickoffs, on Saturday night. The Maui Matt bailout parlay, over in USC Fresno State, tap out. So, Charlie, you going to be finishing up post game about that time when Maui Matt's kicking off?
You know what? When we finish post game, which is at usually between 1:30 and 2 a.m., Hawaii is always still in progress if they're out on the island.
So there you go. If you need some late college texting buddies, Charlie's up late this week for you, Matt. So hey, another Matt. What about another sharp move that I'm against? Illinois, Indiana. This thing opened up was about 4.5. It's up to 6.5. On the Hoosiers, I think these teams are really, really close, and I don't think Illinois is going to be fazed by playing in Bloomington. I think that's – and look, if you give me 4 to 6 points on the other side, I'd take Indiana. But I think this is a really tight game. I think it's a big number. You?
Yeah, you know what? In the offseason, I was talking about this game with Wes Reynolds, and I said, look, if there were a couple numbers out there, Indiana -3. I said, look, if the Hoosiers laying 3 in this game, I'm laying it with Indiana, because I think Illinois is overrated. But now when you get up to 4.5, 5 to 6, and there's sharp groups laying it with the Hoosiers, that's why this number moved on the screen. I'm priced out of it. I'm with you. It's at the point now where I don't see any value in laying the points with Indiana, because I think the Fighting Illini can show up there and take that game down to the wire. So I was going to lay Indiana at 3 or money line, something like that, but I'm not going to lay anything more than 3 here, because it does look like a down-to-the-wire type of game. We're going to find out if the Illini are a bit overrated or not. I mean, it's really hard. What do we know about Indiana right now after Kurt Cignetti's non-conference schedule? We know they got a quality quarterback, and that they look, they've looked pretty good. But when you haven't played anybody, who knows? And that's why I'm a little bit surprised to see the market bet up Indiana to 6.
Cignetti and James Franklin have the same non-conference schedule makers. I mean, my God! And after that murderer's row, Penn State, Lord knows they need a bye week before they host Oregon, which they have this week.
I got to say one thing. I don't know if you guys saw it. You guys see almost everything. So did you see Villanova's last-second touchdown to cover the spread against Penn State last week?
Yeah, and I saw that catch between the rollout and the catch and to get the foot down. I mean, there's bad beats, and then there's just soul-piercing beats. Yes, I saw it.
I didn't see that. I saw
Thankfully, I didn't have anything on it.
I saw the Nevada one with Brock Purdy's little brother leading him down the field at the end in the opener.
I'll send you, Jimmy, I'll send you the video after the show. It's absolutely incredible
Any chance?
My last play to cover the game. What's up?
Any chance to get any video of Wes watching Indiana Illinois Saturday night? Any chance?
Well, unless you have a camera set up inside his condo, probably not. I think he's going to be a nervous wreck too. By the way, the way that guy smokes cigarettes, he'd probably go through 2 or 3 packs during that game.
Matt, you're the best. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next. Good luck to you, buddy.
All right, you bet. Thanks, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet, and serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. Our great team of bankers, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. Stop on by, and discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Next Tuesday, a day I've been waiting for 33 years. Tell you about that when we come back and wrap things up here at Sammy's in Prairieville, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway in Prairieville on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
CBS Sports reporting that next Tuesday, the SEC will reveal its 9-game schedule for all teams, including the 3 permanent opponents. This is much earlier than we anticipated this. We thought this would not come down until much later in the season. And they will be referring to the permanent opponents, the 3 permanent opponents, as annual opponents, not permanent opponents, because they will review this every 4 years, not every 10 years, on your permanent opponents. So this is
annual.
Yeah, this is a big deal. You're going to play everybody everybody twice every 4 years. Everybody's going to see everybody.
It's a settlement.
Yes, and it's much more equitable than it was in the past. So this is good news, and we'll know next Tuesday. I'm still saying A&M, Ole Miss, and Arkansas to open for LSU as their 3, we'll call them annual opponents.
I'll say A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma.
Okay. So we'll see for all of the teams, and then, oh, boy, let the complaining start as soon as it's over with. But I've been waiting on this one a long time.
The 4-year deal
man.
is good.
Yes, it's a very good move. Very good move.
So that way, Alabama could play, Tennessee, Auburn, and then somebody else, and then maybe drop Tennessee and pick up LSU for 4 years.
That's right. And you are required still, after the 9 games, to play a Power 4 opponent or Notre Dame.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. Thanks to the folks here at Sammy's in Prairieville for being our host today. Tomorrow, Log of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investment, starts at 10 from Rufino's. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.